let's talk about some basic wardrobe must-haves. But first of all, you do you, right? This video is just my opinion, and I guess it represents sort of a polished, casual, overall aesthetic that kind of works for me, as well as a lot of you guys out there over 40. But if you have any additional items to add, please let me know in the comments, because I think it might be nice to have sort of a secondary list going. All right, let's start at the ground and then work our way up. Now, first would be sneakers. And I would say a good selection would be something in white, brown, and black. Now, with white sneakers, you could do something like this, which is all white, or you could do something like this that has this gum sole. Now, the gum sole is going to give you a little bit more flexibility because it's not going to show as much dirt around the sides as something like this would. Now, one quick note about sneakers that I did want to mention here, and that's these lace hole eyelets, right? So in my opinion, leather sneakers with this kind of straight through hole punch looks more expensive than a shoe like this that has these metal eyelet rings. Again, it's just my opinion, but this shoe doesn't look as elevated as this one. Think of it in the same way you might look at a casual pair of Converse sneakers with the same metal eyelet ring. Anyway, it's just something that I wanted to bring up in case you might be out shopping for a new pair of white sneakers. Now, the next two colors would be brown and black. And I have seen a lot of all brown sneakers and all black sneakers that look really nice. But for some reason, I just tend to gravitate towards this style with this white sole. I think this helps break up the shoe a little bit and make it not look so heavy. Because looking at an all black shoe can sometimes make it look a little bit weighted down. And I think the white sole, I guess, helps sort of brighten up the shoe a little bit and makes it look a lot nicer. But my opinion, let me know your thoughts down below. Okay, staying with shoes one last time, and the next basic wardrobe must-have, in my opinion, are a few pairs of boots, right? Specifically something in brown and then something else in black. I tend to gravitate towards suede quite a bit, so I would suggest a brown suede chukka boot, and then maybe something a little bit more rugged for the black pair. Now, you could go for something like this from Wolverine, or if you want something in more of a matte finish, something like this from Thursday. This would be where I would start. All right, we're not done with your feet yet, so I would say another shoe must-have would be a pair of brown loafers. You could go for something in a bit loafer, or maybe something like this, a more breathable summertime penny loafer. But these are going to be super versatile because they're just a lot more casual than a dress shoe. But speaking of dress shoes, I would say to get two pair of brown shoes first, and then maybe one pair of black shoes. For the browns, I would do one pair of derbies like this that are more casual, and then one nicer pair of cap-toe Oxfords. The Oxfords are going to be your like really nice brown pair, and then these derbies are going to be something a little more casual that you can wear with your jeans or chinos. Now, for the black pair, I would say, once again, to go with a nice cap-toe Oxford. This is going to be your formal pair that you can wear to weddings, funerals, nicer upscale parties and events only. These are not to be worn casually with jeans. All right, moving on from shoes, you're going to need some socks. I would say you'll need some in black, brown, gray, and blue, because these are going to be your most basic and also most versatile colors that are going to go with more of your items. And generally speaking, you match your sock color to your pants. Now, it does not have to be this perfectly perfect match, but it should be fairly close. Now, the more formal the outfit, the more closely it should match. And if your sock drawer is looking a little haggard right now, I 100% recommend that you check out today's sponsor, Straight Up Socks. I have talked about these guys a ton before, and that's because these are seriously all I wear. My entire sock drawer is full of these things. I've got the solid colors, and I also have that really cool argyle pattern. Now, I'll turn this inside out so you can see this, and I'll try to get some close-ups, but these use this proprietary silicone on the inside to keep your socks looking good and also staying in place all day long. Because if you're anything like me, like I hate always having to reach down and pull up my socks. These little silicone strips solve that problem while still being comfortable. And this tiny little profile of these little silicone pieces hold the sock in place instead of relying on socks that are really, really tight, and that gets really uncomfortable. I've tried those. So these are made from moisture wicking Pima cotton because that resists pilling, feels amazing, and it always looks nice and smooth. Of course, they've got a reciprocated heel for a better fit, smooth toe seams, and a reinforced heel and toe for much longer wear. They also offer free shipping within the US on orders over 25 bucks. Now there's gonna be a special link down in the description, and that's gonna get you a 15% discount off your order. But I do wanna let you guys know that this offer is only good for a limited time. So if you need to restock your sock drawer with some quality socks that I love, these are what you need. So hit that link below and go grab yourself a couple pairs today, because seriously, these are all I wear anymore, and I highly encourage you to jump on this deal before time runs out. Okay, let's move on to some pants, starting with jeans. So I would say some must-haves to start with are 2 pairs in blue, right? A sort of dark wash, non-distressed pair, and then this medium wash, sort of more casual pair. From there, I would suggest maybe going to something in gray, right? It could be light gray or dark gray, or even both, because they're both super versatile. From there, I might suggest something in black. Now you can go super dark black or something like this, a little more faded and casual. Okay, moving on to chinos, I would say something in navy, something in light gray, and something in tan. So I do think that dark gray can start to look a little bit too formal. So in my opinion anyway, light gray is sort of the way to go. Now all 3 of these colors are super versatile and neutral, so they're gonna pair up easily with a lot of different shirts that I will talk about in just a minute. So the light gray and the tan pair, these are gonna be your sort of casual middle of the road pair. And then this navy blue pair, now this might be something a little bit more dressy, but of course still not over the top. And of course, I'm also gonna suggest 2 pairs of dress pants, a pair in navy blue and a pair in sort of medium to darker gray. So I guess this is kind of why I suggest light gray for your chinos, and that's to save sort of a darker medium tone gray for your dress pants. Now, here's something else. If you can, and if you want to, I would suggest choosing dress pants with a subtle pattern. I'll try to get some close-ups. Nothing too crazy, but maybe something kind of like these. And also, don't think of these as like suit pants. Think of these just like a really nice pair of pants that you wear when you want to dress things up a little bit with maybe a nice pair of shoes and maybe a sweater or a nice jacket. Okay, moving up from there, let's talk about shirts. And if you know me, you know that I'm gonna mention shirts with a collar, except for today. So t-shirts are fine, right? But I'm just not somebody who wears t-shirts out in public. They're too casual for me, and they just mostly look like pajamas, and most guys don't look good in t-shirts anyway. At the gym or at home is fine, but personally, I would just rather wear something out with a collar. So let's start with polo shirts. Now, if possible, go for something a little bit nicer, right? Try to avoid those cheap cotton polo shirts from Target, and try to invest in something interesting like this with texture. And if you guys follow my Instagram, you know that I've talked about my buddy Weston Boucher down in San Diego, who's got this really nice clothing line. And truth be told, I don't get any kickbacks for talking about his stuff, but I talk about it because it's incredible. You can tuck these in or wear them untucked, and they always just look fantastic. They provide this sort of upscale, casual look, and they just seem to make everything else you're wearing look a lot better. All right, the next few must-haves are a few button-down shirts. But let me clarify really quick what a button-down shirt actually is. A button-down shirt is a shirt that has this button-down collar. A dress shirt that doesn't have a button-down collar is just a button-up dress shirt. And just for the record, if you're wearing a button-down shirt, these buttons should always be buttoned. You can go for something in white, dark blue, light blue for maximum versatility, or you can go for something with a subtle pattern like stripes, dots, or even checks. Now for your button-up dress shirts, again, something in white, light blue, navy blue, and even black might be my first couple of picks. So depending on your style, again, you could go for something with a subtle pattern that you might like. So these are gonna be your nice shirts, right? That you can go with your nice pair of pants and your nice pair of shoes for one of your special date nights or fancier events out. All right, let me talk about sweaters for just a second, and then we'll move on to jackets. For sweaters, I'm gonna leave this one up to you guys, but I would suggest something in a navy blue and then something else in burgundy. Now, the part that I'm gonna leave up to you guys is to decide whether you want a V-neck sweater, maybe a quarter zip pullover sweater, or even a cardigan. I'm good with any of those choices, but I know that some guys don't like V-necks, and I also know that some guys don't like cardigans. So go with whichever one of those you like in any of those two colors, and that's great for a starting point. Now for jackets, this is kind of where like your climate tends to come in, but for me, in California, personally, I would absolutely recommend a brown suede bomber jacket. There's just something about a brown suede jacket on an older gentleman that just always works and always looks fantastic. Try to find something maybe in like a medium to darker tone, because I feel that's gonna give you a more expensive look. Then I would suggest a navy blue or maybe even a medium gray sports jacket or blazer. Feel free to go with like a subtle pattern like this to be more interesting and also make it a little more casual. But again, that's kind of personal preference. But navy blue and gray, those are gonna be your most versatile color options that you can go with, because they're gonna go with practically everything else we talked about today in this video. And in fact, if you haven't noticed, everything I mentioned in this video will go with everything else I mentioned in this video. And that's the beauty of starting with the basics as your foundation. And really quick, before you guys take off, I just made a whole video on how to match colors like we talked about today. So if you missed that one, make sure you take a look at it right here. And please subscribe if you're not already. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. Live well, and I'll see you in the next one.